I have my coffee here. Although I'm not in the kitchen where I have been the last few days, I'm in my office. It's a little more private here, a little quiet. And I needed that this morning because I want to talk to you just straight from my heart. I have no script, no notes. Sometimes I do. Just as if you were having coffee with me. There's a chair right across from me. So you're sitting in that chair, my friend, and we're going to have coffee together, or you may be having tea, whatever your drink of choice is. But we're going to have a heart-to-heart about sorting out this life. What is important at this stage of life? What concerns us, and all of that. I was talking to a lady several days ago, a younger lady. She was in her 30s. And it was kind of a counseling session, I would say. And I was trying to mentor her and encourage her. And she was afraid of dying. She was afraid. Fear had gripped her. She had suffered a miscarriage. Several of her family members and friends had recently died. Someone recently passed away of a heart attack at 30 years old. She was afraid to leave the house, to go anywhere. She would have panic attacks. And she felt safe at home because she was afraid of dying. Even though she knew the Lord, she was a Christian, and she knew where she would be if she passed, she still had that fear. And I believe many, many women in the second or third half of life may also have that fear of dying and death. So let's just move away from that for a few minutes. How did we get here? How did we get to this stage of life? Well, I guess we just kept getting up every morning, doing our thing, going to bed, getting up and doing it again. It sounds pretty monotonous, but during that time we had some highs and lows, and we've lived a lot of life. Some of it we wish we could do over, and some of us we don't even want to remember, or some things we don't even want to remember. We wish the memory of them would be gone. But many things we're happy and we want to remember. So how do we sort out the good, the bad, and the ugly, especially when it comes to relationships? Because that is something that I believe affects us all, whether we're single, a career woman, whether we've been a stay-at-home mom, married, separated, divorced, whoever we are, wherever we are on this journey of life, we've got a lot of sorting out to do. Some would call it simplifying, decluttering, downsizing, getting rid of stuff. And I was thinking about going through some of my own things here. Why do we put off downsizing, simplifying, and decluttering? Well, I can only speak for myself. And if I start going through some pictures or some books or knickknacks, just things that I have hung on to over the years, it takes me back to certain times in my life. And again, sometimes that's good, sometimes it isn't. So I don't really want to do that because I want to live in the present. I don't really want to face things that are behind me or have to deal with them. Maybe I'll find some postcards or letters or, things my children made when they were little. You might find some diplomas, some certificates or trophies you've gotten along the way. And it's nostalgia, it's triggering, it's all of that. And we can go through life without dealing with that. But when we get to be a classic age, older, we know we're soon going to have to deal with that. We don't want to pass on and leave it to those coming behind us to sort all this out. We'd like to sort it out ourselves. So where do we start? Well, I think we have to start with our emotions, our heart, with what's important to us, what's meaningful at this stage in life. And I think to start decluttering and simplifying our minds and our hearts are a good start. We have to declutter our thoughts, lay things down that are not ours to carry, lay weights down, regrets, easier said than done. When things come to mind that are heavy for us, let's do what we can to change our mindset. Ask God to help us. I believe so strongly in prayer. God created us. He keeps our blood flowing, our brain waves working, our hearts beating, and keeps us moving. And we didn't get this life ourselves. He gave it to us. So we can ask Him for help. And I often do that. I need His help. I can't do life alone, even if it's simple. I can't do the simplest thing on my own. I need His help. So we can ask Him to help us sort things out, what to keep, what not to keep. And I'm talking about thoughts and feelings and emotions right now. What serves us and what doesn't. Those are the things we have to let go, the things that bring us down, cause us to regret and to have sorrow at this stage in life. We don't need that. Been there, done that. We've already lived it. So going into our past and reliving emotions, and I'm talking to myself big time, reliving that doesn't do a bit of good but drag us down, and it causes us to miss out on today. So I think that's why we kind of pull back and we put off and we procrastinate sorting out our thoughts and getting on to material things. Material things are connected to our thoughts and emotions. So we just want to not disturb those boxes or not disturb that trunk where everything resides. I have a trunk in my basement that belonged to my dad, where he kept some of his keepsakes and writings and things like that. I can't even go into that and look at these things because the nostalgia makes me sad sometimes, just thinking about what he might have been like as a little boy, that type of thing. And I just can't visit that right now. If you can relate to any of this I'm saying, would you put it in the comments and just let me know if I'm speaking to you and I'm saying something that's relatable, because I don't want to make these videos just for the sake of talking. I want to encourage you in your life, my friend. I've not met you. Maybe a few of you I have, but I've not met you. But I want to talk to you as if you are a close friend and encourage you. That's what I want my life to be about. Okay, so here we are wanting to sort out our mind, emotions, the triggers, the nostalgia, to declutter the things around us. And how does that work in with relationships? Well, the primary relationship, as I touched on, is with our Heavenly Father, our Creator, our Savior, our Shepherd, the one we turn to. Secondary, we have to have a relationship with ourselves, and I've touched on that as well. We have to take ownership of what we keep and allow into our hearts, minds, and souls. We have to be the keeper of what we let into our mind. And the next relationship is with our family, significant other, husband, if we don't have a husband, our family of origin, our siblings, our friends, our neighbors, whoever we are closest to. Those are the relationships we have to be concerned about, because any nostalgia or triggers or anything that we store in our hearts and minds or store in our homes always have to do with other people. They'll remind us of someone, and that can be a good thing or a bad thing. So that's why relationships matter so much. When we were young, little did we realize that there would come a time when we would, how can I say this? We would be highly interested in downsizing and getting rid of stuff, because most of our life we spend accumulating things, accumulating experiences and stuff. Oh, do we have a lot of stuff. And now we as boomers, we're trying to figure out what to do with all this stuff. And if we have children, most times our adult children are not interested in our stuff. They've already have the sizing mindset most times. Our generation was all about collecting things, it seems, but they don't want to carry anything that's going to weigh them down, and I applaud them for that. So what do we do with that wedding china we had? What do we do with the trinkets that made our home seem so inviting? What do we do with the books that we're never going to read, but we just can't seem to part with? And all the family photos, yeah, someday they will get dispersed between all the family members. And I'm not wanting this conversation to be bleak and dreary or depressing. We have more time behind us than ahead of us. And although I don't think we should panic about that, or we should try to be busy because of that. No, we should relax and be at peace and never panic. But at the same time, prepare for the days ahead of us, not in a sad way, but in a joyful way, because we've got wisdom, we've learned lessons, we know what's important, we know what to let go, we know what to keep, and keep what we keep. The most important thing are people and relationships that are near and dear to us. We can let the ones go that cause us pain, destruction, and heartache. That's okay. We don't need to feel guilty about that. So I just want to bring this to a close, encouraging you to face things today. Sort your life out. You're not going to do it all in one day, but you can begin a little at a time, because if we procrastinate too much, the job becomes bigger and bigger and weightier. And if we just started to declutter our heart, mind, soul, our space, our home, our computer, our phones, our whatever it is, our closet, our clothes closet, get rid of some of the shoes we never wear, just to make it practical, we will be so much lighter. And when we get rid of things in our minds, hearts, and souls, and in our space, we make room for other things to come in. Like, have you ever cleaned out a closet and got rid of some of your things, and all of a sudden what was left was more noticeable? You'd find things that you didn't even know you had. You said, I didn't know I had this really nice blouse. I never wear it because it was stuck in behind all these other clothes. The same with relationships. When we weed out the ones that cause us sadness or grief, we make more room for those in our lives that bring us support, bring us comfort, that we can have a two-way relationship with. And as we inspire and comfort them and encourage them, they do the same for us. So let's begin today to pay attention to sorting out this life of ours, especially in this stage of life. I want you to enjoy the rest of your day. I hope I've brought you a glimmer of hope. I hope that I have encouraged you not to procrastinate in sorting things out, but to look at life honestly and candidly and think, okay, how can I take this next step in life, being proactive and not reactive, and taking control over what I allow into my heart, mind, and soul, what I keep in there that I should lay down and ask for forgiveness for. What should I pray about? And how can I declutter the space around me so that I have room for what matters? And how can I weed out the relationships that are destructive and dysfunctional and bring me down, allowing for people to be in my life that benefits them, benefits me, and we're all healthier in mind, body, soul, and spirit because of it. God bless you today, and I will be back next time to have a chat with you. Bye-bye.